communicating with our clients, right? For them to buy, they have to think and believe something. They have to know, like, and trust us. And they need to be coachable, likable, and can afford our services. So your voice actually communicates safety, communicates certainty, communicates authority, communicates belief. So it's very important that the people, your prospects, they may not really know yet that they can do this, but your voice needs to communicate that they can do this. There is a part of them that believes they can, but then they have the naysayers and the backbiters and the criticizers and the Hittites and the Jebusites that are speaking into them saying, oh, no, you couldn't. Why don't you just be like the rest of us? Because those voices are there, and people say those things because they are terrified that you are going to change the course of direction in your bloodline. You threaten them. You threaten the devil. I want to be really clear here. And if you are not having trouble and difficulty, you are likely not a threat to the enemy. So I just want to encourage those of you, if you have blowback from your family, if you get mistreated, if you're not understood, it sounds a little bit like somebody that we all love named Jesus, doesn't it? And often we shrink back because, and we shy away from sending the audios because of how we've been spoken to by people. But I want you to see today that it is the audio that makes all the difference. You don't need to be having 10 sales calls a week. I mean, you can. That would be amazing. And you'll likely close 5 or 8 of those. But you don't need to beg for attention. And you absolutely do not need a funnel to close premium level clients. You do need to know how to guide. How to guide belief. You must know how to guide belief over a belief bridge. You need to guide somebody from here to crush a belief, to move them along, to transfer belief and crush limiting beliefs. And that's what today is all about. Drop this in the chat right now. Like, what is the biggest gap in your sales conversations that you're experiencing right now in chat? What's your biggest gap? Is it getting people into the conversation? A, like just even having people respond. Is it B, moving the conversation forward? Is it C, having people see their own gap, that they are here and they want to be over here? This is the gap. And I like to say, without the gap, there is no sale. If your person does not see the gap between where they are and where they want to be, you will either find yourself in a position where you are convincing instead of walking them over and transferring the belief. D, are you having trouble handling money objections? Do you still think that money is about money? And E, getting people to make a decision. Is that where you're struggling? If you're struggling with all of it, just put all in the chat. But I want to read a few of these because this masterclass is tailored for you. So here's the real truth. You're not struggling because people can't pay. You're not struggling because you don't have enough leads. You're struggling because their belief isn't high enough yet. Somebody put that in chat. Their belief isn't high enough yet. And so if you're going in to invite them into a conversation and bring them into a 10-minute call, and their belief hasn't got to the place of, this is easy, I can do this, and I have the support I need to complete this. That's the belief we want them to feel before they hop on a 10-minute call. This is why audios are your secret weapon. Audios are your secret weapon. So drop voice in the chat if you have ever sent an audio and the energy completely shifted. Maybe they went from not believing they could do anything at all. Maybe they just like had a small breakthrough into a new belief about themselves. But here's why audios close high ticket better than anything else. Number one, it builds intimacy. It builds intimacy closer and faster than text. Number two, It helps your prospects to borrow your belief. Number 3, it helps them to interrupt fear loops. Interrupt fear loops. And what do I mean by that? Well, we all have things that go on in our brain where we're thinking about a situation or something, and we start to go into either anxiety or anticipation. And anxiety is focusing future outcomes on things that are not desirable for you. So you choose to focus your energy and your direction on, what if this, and how about this, and I don't know about this, and what if I leave my job, and what about my husband, and I don't know if I have enough money, and that is anxiety. You guys have a choice. Anxiety is not a disorder. Now, granted, some people have very serious problems with that. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about on our daily basis, we have a choice between anxiety and anticipation. So what's anticipation, Coach Heaven? Anticipation is focusing only on outcomes that are favorable for you, future outcomes that are favorable for you. So audios interrupt that fear loop. So you have a pattern interrupt. You're saying, wait a second, and you're speaking into or calling out somebody who is thinking or believing something that is not a service to them. Number 4, it carries emotional leadership. Audios carry emotional leadership. What do I mean by that? Well, people buy what? They buy emotionally and they back it up logically. They buy emotionally, they back it up logically. So when you step into showing that you see them, you hear them, you are paying attention to the things that they are saying, you're listening, you're having a feedback loop of saying, if that sounds like that's really tough for you right now. It sounds like that might be a real challenge. And you show that compassion, you're showing emotional leadership. Number 5, it creates micro decision momentum. So audios help create micro decision momentum. Micro decision momentum. What do I mean by that? I mean that you are not just saying, hey, this is really good for you. If you do X, Y, Z, you're going to have this result. When we say like a blanket statement to people, I feel that breaks down trust. As opposed to if we go micro moments, like moment by moment by moment, if we go moment by moment by moment, those are called micro decision momentum. Because what that does is it creates a framework, you're building upon, right? You're building from one level to the next level, to the next level, to the next level. And people have stability through your audios. You're maybe answering a question that they have, and you create an audio that has them move forward. Maybe they're concerned, they have a fear about their ability to complete this. You crush that belief through an audio, and you bring them up again higher. So when I show this, these are the micro decision momentum. I guess we could call it the MDM, micro decision momentum. You're bringing them from glory to glory to glory to glory. Because I want you to remember that 97% of the population does not believe in a growth mindset. 97% of the population, I don't have my phone here, believe in a blame mentality. I was listening to Alex Hermosi, who I had the privilege of being a part of a community and asking him questions for part of a coaching that I was a part of. So I'm very thankful for that. But I was listening to him this morning, and he said, your power follows the direction you point blame. Your power follows the direction you point blame. And so untangling the mental mess that people have, their stories about why they haven't been successful. you're actually untangling that. Now, I know in your mind you're thinking, this sounds like a lot of work, Coach Heaven. Why can't we just have like an evergreen model where we have a video, people respond to it, they say yes or no, and then we close a sale? It's like the Staples. Remember they had that was easy button. Does everybody remember that? Just like boop, that was easy. It would be fantastic if that was the case. But most people are not willing to do what it takes to get the result they really want. Please make a note of that. 97% of people are not willing to do the work of what it takes to get the results that they want. They're not willing to go through the learning curve to get to the earning curve. So when you are sending audios to people, you are crushing, somebody put crushing in the chat. You are crushing their pattern that they have up to now until they met you. Allow themselves to believe. They blame their mom, they blame their dad, they blame their sister, they blame their uncle, they blame their parent, they blame their therapist, they blame the teacher, they blame somebody for their lack of success. And you gently and firmly ask questions to see what they believe, not what you believe, to see what they believe. When we talk at people, we're avoiding the micro-decision momentum. When we send a text, we are thinking that they are going to go from here to here with one text, one video sales letter, one audio, one thing, and it's going to have them say yes. The problem, there's many problems, but the problem with that mindset is that you then have a buyer who doesn't believe that they can do it, and they haven't stopped pegging themselves as a victim. And so now they're in your course, and they're not really doing all the work because they have a victim mentality. 97% of the population. So if you know that 97% of people don't believe that they have the victory, 97% of the people are not believing that they can do it. However, there will be people within your inbox that as you walk them through with the powerful audios, they will be transformed and they will say, wow, I was believing a lie, or wow, I don't want to be that person. I want to be the forerunner of my family. I want to help create legacy. I want to transform the nations. I'm going to feed this. I'm going to do this. You can unlock them. I actually think that audios are one of the holiest things that we can do. Talk about powerful businessry. You are speaking over people. Like again, I don't know, Lori could put it in the chat. What percentage of people go to therapy in the world? What percentage of people have had parents and caregivers and relatives speak negative over people? If I say at least 50%, would everyone agree with me? I'd say 50% of people are in some kind of... So if you are doing the opposite, you are untangling and enmeshing, you are speaking life over them, you're being prophetic over them, you are not allowing them to stay in their lie. What do I mean by that? When you're doing the micro-decision momentum, they have a lie they believe. And if you allow them to stay in that lie, they will not become... And again, we're not just after buyers. We're after people that believe so well and believe in themselves, believe they can do it, that they continue in the momentum once they buy from you, right? So you have a momentum, micro-decision momentum that occurs in the sales process, in the buying cycle. Then you have a level that if they end up over here, they are starting your program, they're starting your mentorship, already having that transfer of belief. If you are catching this, put "you bet, coach" in the chat. Right, where we are helping to transform this person while we are asking the questions in the chat to bring them to a sales decision. Because you want people in your groups. How do you want your people? Do you want your people ready? Do you want people that have self-accountability, yes or no? That they take ownership for their own actions, yes or no? That they have a victor mentality instead of a victim mentality. Because if somebody moves towards a buying decision, they say yes, but they're still a victim, they still are not willing to do the work, they're not willing to relearn and have a growth mentality, you're not going to have a very great client. And that person may or may not get the results because they're still buying their own lies. You give power to the people you blame. So let's look for people who take ownership. Okay, I just had to put that in there because I know there's a lot of heart-centered people, therapeutic people who understand the language I'm using. When people hear you, they feel you. They trust you, and when they trust you, they buy. So you're walking them over the micro-decision momentum, and that momentum takes them into the buying cycle. So you have X over here where they're starting. You have the bridge of belief, Bob, that you're bringing them over. And these micro decisions are all along this process. So that when you have somebody say yes and buy, they're also believing in your system. What is unique about you? Put that in the chat. Right? Do you take the time to work with people? Do you have a boutique system? Are you somebody who helps people in healing? You know, I say that high ticket sales is the highest level of healing. When you can close a $100,000 sale, $200,000 sale, $50,000 sale, you have multiple people buy at $25,000, $50,000. It's the highest level of healing for you because you are setting a boundary. Price is a boundary. It's a boundary of the level that you're willing to work with. So put ready in the chat if I can teach you the exact framework that I use. Okay? So when we are connecting with our people in chat, again, this is all about the audios. When we're connecting with people in chat, we want to neutralize their emotions, or we want to stabilize their emotions. They have thoughts and feelings. Does everybody agree with me? You have thoughts and feelings that are going on. They have multiple things that are happening in their mind, their will, their emotions. You're moving pressure and you're creating safety. So the first thing is stabilizing. I have many different ways that I do that. I teach my clients in the Kingdom Sales Academy how to stabilize somebody's emotional system. Now, we want to be regulators. We want to regulate our own emotions. So I'm not saying you're removing the responsibility from them, but they're kind of concerned. Whether you're in a relationship niche, financial services, it doesn't matter. Everybody has fears around whether or not they're actually going to be successful. Your prospect's current solution to solving their problem is to do nothing. If they do nothing, no one will criticize them, will they? If they take a risk and go online and make more content, talk to people, make themselves more vulnerable, there you have more access to people criticizing you. Yes or no in the chat. When you avoid that curve, you avoid your earning curve. When you avoid that curve, you're avoiding the earning curve. So number one is you're stabilizing their emotions. You're helping them to see a future self of them with an anchor audio. Number two, you are helping them to clarify. You ask questions. They may say, oh, well, I haven't done this because my previous coach. I haven't done this because of my husband. I haven't done this because I don't have support at home. If you are buying those lies, you are allowing yourself to not be successful. Every time you buy a lie from your client, your prospect, you are allowing yourself to not be successful in that realm. Because are they really going to be helped if we're not honest about things with them? Yes or no? So you're helping to clarify. You're helping them to see the root. Put this down. The root. So number two is clarify. You're helping them see the root of their hesitation. Because if you believe that you can do something, if you believe that what the person you're talking to can really help you get through something, what's really going on? If somebody is not buying what is truly going on for them, it's never about money. All of you who think it's about money, money is just a construct. It's not about money. It's absolutely about their belief that they can do this. And so the purpose of the audios is you're bringing them up where the air is rare. You know, they have those feelings at church on Sunday. They have those feelings in their Bible studies. They have feelings about themselves that they can do it when they're away from the toxic people that spoke over them. They get all excited. Can I get a witness here? Anybody ever been to a big group meeting, whether it's kingdom believers or a big church event, maybe you've been praying for days or you've been learning for days and you've been having fellowship. Is your belief system out of 10? Yes or no? Yes. And then the second you come back home and you walk in the door and there's kid stuff all over the floor, or your husband's still lack of faith in God hits you like a frying pan in the face, your belief in your faith starts to ooze out of yourself. Can I get a witness in chat? And this is what's going on for our prospects. They have a life just like you. They have things that are happening in their world that are bringing them towards their calling. They can make decisions. You are not responsible for whether or not they follow through and they do the work and they keep believing. You can be there for them. You can support them. You can do all those things. It's still up to them. But in the chat process, you can help them to see their root of hesitation and the truth of their desire. There are ways to call them out, ways to ask the questions that are life-giving to them. Number 3, you can help to elevate them. They are not doing the things because they don't believe. I want everyone to really catch that today. People don't take action because they don't believe that the result will really happen for them. If you can elevate them up to where the air is rare, remind them of who they are, speak life into them and over them, they will be in a position to have a readiness to consider finding a solution. Now, that you may or may not be that solution, but you are helping them to see what they can achieve. You speak the highest version of them. Again, I go back to your family of origin. I go back to people that, in schools. And anybody here ever had a teacher that, spoke things over you that weren't true, that weren't life-giving? Anybody ever have a parent? So your clients, your prospects have had that themselves. You're speaking over them the version of what they want to become. This helps for them to make a much better buying decision. This is not manipulation. Again, you are not telling them that you're the one, you're not speaking, you're not convincing, you're not pitching. You are asking questions, you are crushing lies, and you are transferring belief. This is the highest form of leadership. People do not buy when they're confused, right? A confused mind never buys. People buy when they're clarified, when they're stabilized and elevated. Okay, so write those down. Stabilized, clarified, and elevated. That's when they buy. So I would love, Matthew, to do a love seat with somebody. Now, a love seat is my version of a hot seat, and I came up with that because one of the coaches I had a hot seat, and I always thought I was going to be grilled or lashed to death in the seat. And God's word says that he exposes, right? So like our weaknesses, our places where we're missing it in our business, in our lives, he exposes for one reason only. Do you guys know what that is? He exposes for healing, right? That's that's a good way to measure if somebody's a toxic person or not. Again, I'm not a therapist. But if somebody is exposing to bring you higher and privately, they're a healthy person. If somebody's exposing you and talking about things about you that are lies or not truths, and they're doing it in front of other people, and they're doing it to humiliate you, I mean, obviously when I say it out loud, everybody goes, well, duh. But often we connect with clients, we connect with partners, we connect with friends, we connect with people that really are not the best for us. So I want you to see that the audios help you to connect with the best clients that do the work, that pay in full, that are coachable, that are likable, that don't blame you for anything. They take full ownership for themselves. Who would like to have that kind of client? Put yes in the chat. Somebody who says, sign me up, I'm all in, here's the money, I'm doing the work, you're my coach, you're my mentor, you're the one that's going to help me, and I am going to take full responsibility for whether this goes good or not. Amen? So who would like to be in that love seat? You can put me in the chat. Now, what is going to happen in the love seat? Some of you have been around before, but I want to go through and take a look at your prospect. What's their hesitation? What's the offer? What are you sharing with them in the conversations? And for you to see when you create a voice note, now we don't have time to design all of it, obviously, it's a whole year academy, but we could take a look at a micro component of your business and see, what is maybe missing here? Are you crushing beliefs, or are you allowing them to stay in their old belief system? Are you bringing them up higher where the air is rare and speaking over them, but then not holding them accountable in the chat? Are you failing to show a gap between their present self and their future self where they want to be? Are you asking them the right questions, and are you transferring the belief so that now they don't have a fixed mindset, that they realize they had a fixed mindset and they're now stepping into a growth mindset? This is crucial if you want to close high-level sales. If you want to stay at 5, 10K months, keep doing what you're doing. If you would like to get to millions and millions of dollars, this is the route you need to go. All right, who is ready, Matthew?
Awesome. Judith put her hand up first, so we'll bring her up to the stage.
Well, good morning, Judith. How are you? Happy New Year.
Yes, thank you very much. Yes, yeah,
Yeah. So what do you feel is your,
yeah.
regarding your person, what do you feel is the biggest, area regarding the things that I've mentioned this morning? If we can kind of just keep it in that wheelhouse,
Okay.
what do you feel is the most challenging?
Yes, I've had several who say they can't afford it, they don't have the money now. And I confess that I'm not amazing at taking them through this, but I've just begun to hear you and think of ways in which my attitude has to change. Because I'm an identifier, so that's my particular strength and weakness, I will too soon identify with their situation. And I really need to learn how to apply myself in what you're teaching right now. I even
Yeah, well,
have
you're
one
being
particular, I
very
even have,
vulnerable, Judith. Thank you.
yeah,
And
sorry?
if I hear you correctly, I just want to make sure if I hear you correctly, you feel that you're excellent at resonating with their situation, but you feel that
Yes,
maybe there's a degree of commiserating as opposed to calling them out gently on things to have them
yes,
see a gap and see a reason to buy.
yes, yes. I shy away, I do actually encourage them, but I shy away of exposing more. I shy away of being seen as if I'm after their money. You know what I'm saying? Uh, um,
Remember, if
so,
you say that, or if they're saying that, you are connecting with people that, like, there's something within ourselves. Like, if we use that kind of language, there may be something within yourself that
mm,
still thinks that about other people. Like, I'll be honest, I just don't think that at all. Like, I think sales are super holy and amazing. And, I've been looking at, buying a new vehicle, and I don't even think about, like, well, how can I talk him down? How can I, oh, he's
mm,
just after my, like, I don't even think those things. I want you guys to understand that you
yes,
need a renewed mind around
yes,
sales for you to be
yeah,
able to command in the sales environment,
yes, yes. I
right?
have
Because
another
if you
problem, and
have
that
that going
is
on,
where do I actually find the higher potentials as well? So,
See, this
That's
is
another
another
area.
lie that people believe, Judith. You have the
Mm.
people in front of you. You don't have the skills to unlock in
Okay.
them and how to ask them. And they're going to buy from somebody. All of you here who think you need different leads, it's because you don't know how to unlock other people.
Mm.
It's the ability to have people go through the process. You need to unlock, what do they need to think, write that down, and believe in order to buy. What do they need to think and believe in order to buy? And through a series of Socratic questioning, then crushing the belief that they believe and replacing it with a new belief. So what are some of the belief systems? Well, let's not start there. So you have people who say they don't have the money now. And do you feel like they're just using that because they think you're a nice person, you've kind of related to them,
No,
you've shown love to them, is an excuse that they're using to
they
be able
really, they
to.
really often feel, there may be people who are in the middle of crisis. That they're thinking in terms of what's convenient for them at this particular moment. Mostly, I would say. In one particular situation, this lady says, "Well, my sons, they control my money. How did I
Right. So
land with all
remember,
of these people?"
right. But it has to do with yourself. And I know nobody likes to hear this, but it does.
Hmm.
Like, honestly, when I have stuff going on in my life, I will ask the question, like, what in me is still occurring that I'm allowing or attracting this kind of behavior in my world? Remember what I said?
Yes.
Your power follows the direction you point blame.
Okay.
And so that woman who's saying, I don't have this because of this, she's made a decision to give her power to those people.
So
That's
I've just begun to see, Coach,
okay.
that when they speak their high ideals, each of these people are thinking, yes, that's been prophesied over me, and this and this and this, and they believe it, and they don't understand that they will have to take action. So I've just really begun to gently show that if you really believe that you are destined to do this or that, and you're not taking any action, then that has to change. So I've started talking about that, but I can't say I've not done enough. I have not been systematic enough.
Right, and your systems won't be in place until you have proof of concept, right? So you guys, you don't want to look for systems first. You're looking for minimum viable product. You're looking for proof of concept that the audio you've used has unlocked somebody. Once you
Hmm.
start to see that the audio you're using has unlocked somebody or that you've called them out, part of this too, and I'm going to be super real, and I know Leanna loves it when I get into this, but it's that there are habits and behaviors and patterns and unhealed things in ourselves.
Okay.
And if we continue to allow other people, right, entanglements, enmeshments, allow other people to, even to, like, I'll just let you guys know really clearly. If I have somebody who's talking to me, we actually had this in a restaurant the other night. Somebody who talks to me and says, well, we got all these problems because of the government and we all blah, blah, blah. And they start going on a whole blame barf is what I call it, right? They're just spewing blame about things. I don't just I don't just take anything from anybody anywhere. I will say, I'm really sorry about that you think about this, sir. But in my world, this is my world that I live in. I'll share, and I'm not being disrespectful, but I think all of you don't realize how much of an impact when you don't speak up in your life has in the spirit realm that tells the enemy that you can continue to attract people that blame and um, are not good at doing the work, they're lazy, they don't show up, they don't pay you. You are actually setting the spiritual parameters in the spirit realm when you don't use your own voice to stand up for things on your daily that are outside of your work. The way
Okay.
you do anything is the way you do everything.
Okay.
Now, you can't control other people. So if you still speak up in your world and you say, right, like I said to this guy, I said, no, that's not my situation. Because he was thinking, I'm some blonde chick, I probably am a hairdresser. I get this all the time. People think that I actually, do nails or I'm a nice looking person or a nice person. I'm not that way at all. And even when people compliment me on my clothing, I'm like, I don't even know how to dress myself. I would never know how to like naturally do any of these things. I hire people to do it. I have no propensity towards that. And so I'll just be really clear. I'll be like, well, thank you so much for sharing. I'm sorry that this has been your situation. However, are you willing, and all of you write this down, are you willing to allow your current narrative to completely obliterate the future plans you have for yourself? Come on, Leanna. Can I get some fire in the chat? Are you willing? I'm just curious. You can be kind about it. I'm just curious. Are you willing to have your current narrative? You need to call people out. Why don't we call people out? Can somebody put that in chat? I know one time maybe Lori will just have you, is she still here? Yeah. Speak out about some of these things. But when we don't speak out truth in our content, when we don't speak out truth in our reels and our stories, when we don't speak truth to our spouse, when we live in lies and deception and we act like we're fine, you are hampering your ability to show up on stage, online, in rooms, in chats, and in your sales calls. It affects how you show up in every single way. Okay, I'll stop my little rant there. I wanted you guys to hear. Those of you who love when I do that, give me some love in the chat. Thank you, Kim. So good. Because a lot of coaches don't talk about this. A lot of business owners won't share these things. I want to equip you so that you don't just become a millionaire. You become the most resilient, the most tenacious, the most demon-chasing, righteous living saint that your whole bloodline has ever seen. That you change the course of direction of your family for the next hundreds of years to come. Because it's something inside of you. God is more concerned about the becoming. However, the church takes that too far and acts as though we don't have to make any money. It's in the doing. Genesis 1:28, right? Be, do, have. As you're doing, you become more. As you become more, you do more. You show up as more. As you show up as more, people start to take you more seriously and you have more. You're not closing sales, mostly not because of your leads, mostly not because people don't have money. You don't know how to ask the questions and call people out on things that bring them to the place where they see your leadership. Remember what we just talked about? They see that you are the one that emotionally stabilizes them. They can borrow belief from you. You're interrupting their fear patterns. If you're not interrupting their fear patterns, they don't see you as a leader. If you're just like all the rest going, oh, it's okay, don't worry, like the prophecies of God will come to pass one day. When you holiatize, you are actually cutting off the ability for them to ever complete their call. All of you, I want you to hear it. So you need an audio, Judith, that has people to stop making excuses. Show them they need to take action, that there is a correlation between the prophetic, right? I did a post like 7 years ago on preparation is a prophetic act. Action is a prophetic act. Correlation between the prophetic, like I think we need less prophetic words and more prophetic accountability. Can I get an amen in the chat? Right? Correlation between the prophetic word and actions. What else? What else would you like to see? We'll do the audio and wrap it up. You want to say some hard things. So what are some of the hard things that you need to say to them to crush their limiting beliefs that you're not currently saying?
Yeah. I think I think I actually call out quite a lot, but it kind of centers around the selling where I don't. I call out on.
Okay, so this is really good. I want everybody to hear this because you have no you have no authority to coach somebody until they've paid you, guys. Getting paid is the key of authority to coach.
Yes.
Okay, so if you're coaching, again, we have authority and we have connection, right? Some people in their sales are the hardcore closer, which is none of you. Some of you are the friend. Some of you are coaching on a sales call. You are not to coach. So when I'm talking about sending an audio, you're bringing people over the bridge of belief so that you're curating an environment so well that by the time they get to the 10-minute call and the strategy call, they are already sold. Because they see that, how is it that somebody knows my problem so well? Anytime, everybody write this down, anytime you are able to explain a problem so well to your prospect, they attribute to you that you have the solution, whether you do or not. right? Some of you have people come up to you in grocery stores, in department stores, anywhere, because they can see your authority. And they'll say, hey, do you know where I can find mustard? And you're thinking, I don't work here. But they can feel your authority. Can I get a witness? Everybody's laughing, these women, because you guys know I know you. So I know you so well that when I talk to you, you go, well, if she knows me this well, there is no way she's not going to be able to help me get to where I want to go. That's how detailed you need to be with your people, Judith, and the rest of you.
Okay.
Your person, yes, you want to call them out, but you want to correlate it to being an advocate
Yes.
and the authority to be able to ask questions. You're asking questions. It becomes salesy when we stop asking questions and we start pitching to somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you've got to ask the questions and see where they really are at. When we over prophesy, we're speaking too much into future self. We want to take them to the future self and then untangle. Well, that's where you want to be, but you're not there. That's where you want to be. You're not there. So what's going on right now that is keeping you down here? Tell me about what's going on, what's keeping you here. Then you're exposing. Again, why does God expose? For the purpose of healing. He only exposes for healing.
Yes.
And transformation, right? Right? Too much of us are satisfied going to a healing conference where we're just going to be given a word, we're going to be prayed over, and guess what? We're going to come back next year wanting the same medicine.
Yes.
The medicine is valuing yourself, of putting a price on things, of being able to sell and being able to transform other people, of being at a higher level where you're no longer entangled with toxic people.
Okay.
So what are a few of the limiting beliefs that you have, that people have?
Oh, I've had people say, my mother always said that I'll never amount to anything. Or somebody who is actually still an actually paying client, she's still stuck. I'm really learning from you about her on saying I'm not good enough. People have said I'm not good enough. So I'm just, I'm not good enough is one of the main ones.
Okay.
I'm confused. I'm not sure. I'm not sure which way I should go.
Okay.
That's another one. Confusion and lack of clarity. People express.
Which I want you guys to all know right now and write this down because it's going to be very, very helpful. When people stay stuck on, I'm not sure which way to go, and I don't know which niche, and I don't know what this, I don't know if God's calling me to like Egypt or to Israel or to, Bangladesh. It's a way of avoiding your calling.
Yes.
So that you don't have to grow up.
Yes.
It's a self-sabotage. So I want you to understand, as soon as they start doing that, you go, okay, well then, just pick one.
Yes.
Let's go to Bangladesh next weekend. Get out your phone, get out your credit card. We're going to book it because let me tell you something. I don't wait for God to tell me. You guys can spend one day with me and you'll see how I live. But I will prophesy over everybody I see. I have constantly people in hairdressers, anywhere. People come up to me, and I don't go, thus saith the Lord. Yes. They'll tell me. They feel that I can care about them and I have authority.
Yes. No, I do the same, Coach.
Don't let go of your authority, though, Judith. If people are refusing to pay for your services, they are disrespectful. You cannot help disrespectful people.
Yeah, I definitely have to change. I know that. Even God spoke to me at the beginning of 2026. He said, I will help you with those things that cause you to hold back. And I'm trying to figure out what these things are. So I'm finding it out.
We're getting them now. The hard part is often, most of us, we don't want to let go. Yes. Like when we talk about like leaving Egypt and leeks and melons, let me just do a future, what are leeks and melons? We don't have leeks and melons. Yeah, you got lots of leeks and melons. Because you go back to, but I like that these people like me, that they see something in me and they tell me how helpful I am. You have to make a decision that you're going to starve yourself of applause and vain compliments. Yes. And you're going to exchange the vain compliments and applause for people paying you.
Yes. No,
all of us have to stop getting satisfied. No, but have being paid as your limit, Judith. If somebody you're walking through and they keep making excuses and you keep giving, You keep helping, and honestly, I struggle with this sometimes with my kids because I give my kids everything.
Yes, I
Even
understand.
my counselor has said to me, you are the most generous person. People are taking advantage of you and your family.
Mm,
It needs to
mm,
stop. And I was
yes,
like, oh my goodness, you're
yes.
probably right. So I'm just being transparent with you because I'm not talking about things that I haven't worked through. I created this whole Kingdom Sales Academy because I understand the psychology of sales. I understand what God wants to do on this earth. And I know that if Christians don't mature and stop running to the altar and they start creating businesses that call people up to a higher level and hold them accountable, the world is going to change. And you know it too, Judith. So here we go. Is everybody ready for a 1 minute belief bridge audio, which we will get to you, Judith, okay?
Thank you, Jesus. Yes.
And it may not feel, so guys, I want you to understand, sometimes it can feel as though this feels like a little like, oh, I don't know if I want to send that. But people are not going to pay for you to just be Mrs. Nice Person. If you're just saying that everything else that everybody else is saying, that's why they're not paying you guys. When they feel that you have authority and connection and you can talk about their problem better than anyone else and you call them out on their stuff, call them up higher, can I tell you what's going to happen? Everybody ready? They all of a sudden find the money. They don't have a money problem. They have a seeing. You have to unlock in them the value and they will pay. Here we go.
Okay.
Here we go.
Yes.
This
Thank
is
you.
you. I'm pretending to be you. Ready?
Okay.
I can't speak as nice as your voice, but I'm going to do my very best here. All right? I want to say this clearly, dear one, because I love you too much to let you stay stuck. If God has spoken a word over your life, that word requires movement. Prophetic words are not permission to wait. They are invitations to act.
Great.
Saying, I don't have money right now, sounds practical. But most of the time, it's fear wearing the clothes of logic. And fear does not steward destiny. If you're still blaming your parents, you're still looping in the I'm not good enough and still waiting to feel ready, then what you're protecting isn't your finances. It's your identity. Confusion is not from God. Delay is not obedience. And clarity does not come before action. It comes through it. Faith is not agreement. Faith is alignment. And alignment always costs something. If you believe the word, your life has to start reflecting it. Not someday, not when it feels safer, but now. So the question isn't, can I afford this? It is, what is this costing me to stay the same?
Yes.
Everybody put in the chat, what does that make you feel? And I got to hop off and get into the Kingdom Sales Academy. What does that make you feel when you heard that, Judith?
I just so connected with it because I've been grappling with this very thing, even with people giving me comments in responses to my posts. They are lapping it up, but you can tell they don't want to move. They just
That's
want to
right.
be fed. So, what it did for me, it rose within me a sort of decision that I'm going to go for it. That I'm going to challenge more. I'm going to do it. I know I'm on
And
the
then your
brink of it.
content needs to line up with it, guys. I want you to see this. Your content needs to be repelling. Your content needs to be challenging. Your chats need to be asking the questions. You need to uncover because
Yes, I
you are
do.
called to bring somebody from where they are to where they've never been before. And if they think it's going to be easy and free, they are
Yes,
the delusional 97% and
absolutely,
they will never
absolutely.
change.
If you see the prophetic word God caused me to put on my wall today, you will see it's matching to what you're saying.
I believe you. And I know that about you. That's why I love you. I know your anointing. It's just time you get paid. Guys, everybody put time to get paid in the chat. And I'm going to
Get paid.
transfer it over to you, Matthew.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Amazing. Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for being here. Amazing masterclass. And thank you, Judith, for participating. That was amazing. Awesome. All right. So that is going to be all for today. Just a reminder that we have the Sell More Offers Challenge happening on Monday. And if you've never been, it is an incredible week, an experience with Coach Heaven to move your business forward and implement it quickly. So we would love to see you there. But that is all for today. So thank you guys so much for being here, and I hope you have an